One of my doctors the other day.
Yeah, wherever I do, doctor surgeries, places where I'm getting my car serviced, no matter what. And as I've often said, I've only ever had one person tackle me. So I would have had the conversation 200 times over the last couple of years, and the response is overwhelming, and people are angry.
How does the wife bear up under all this? I know my husband gets grouchy from time to time with my constant vociferation.
Yes, I'm sure there's a bit of that goes on. No, look, in fact, I was very concerned about that, or sort of circa 2002 to 2003, that I was becoming fixated on the classic bore, and I was worried about the effect on my family, because some of the backlash in Australia is ignorant, and so anybody who's not white, the heat's been turned up on them. And my wife is not white, so I was a bit worried about what I was bringing down upon her. But my family endorse what I'm doing 100%, because they are from Thailand, and they have seen firsthand what happens when Islam goes unchecked. The southern regions of Thailand have been no-go areas for mainstream, central and northern Thais for 40 years.
Right.
And the killing that's going on down there, I'm very pleased to see that it has world attention these days, but it has gone unchecked and unnoted for 40 years. The killing totals down there are staggering. I mean, there would probably, over the last 20 years, be something like 150,000 dead. And it's all at the hands of Islamists, but it wasn't always unnoted. So I have full support from my family, which is very encouraging.
Well, my husband has gotten better about it since I've been on the radio. He figures, hey, look, she's doing something now. And, I get a few really good interviews like this today, and then last week it's like, whoa, look what she's doing now.
Yeah, well, I do. I think this groundswell thing it's become a responsibility on us.
Amen.
If no one else is going to do it, we have to. And it's tiring, and we're undermanned and under-resourced. But let's face it, we can all say that we have seen effectiveness.
Yeah. What I see here is that yes, it's all been scattered right now with the bloggers and radio shows like this, and but they're beginning to organize. In fact, maybe we could talk a little bit about Vigilant Freedom's attempt now, or interest, in actually creating a 24/7 radio network, an anti-jihadi radio network. So anytime during the day, anywhere in the world, you tune into to this network, and you will hear an anti-jihadi talk show just like this.
That's a great initiative. Things like the 910 group too. I mean,
yes,
same thing.
They're doing a superb job.
Yeah.
So it's been 7 years since 9/11. So for non-governmental response, it's pretty good. For coming out of the populace, there are people who are absolutely determined, and I'm sure that those numbers are only going to rise. But until there is political will and effort behind this, we'll always be marginalised. I mean, I'm very conscious of the fact that under the anti-terror laws that exist in Australia now, post 9/11, that in fact I can be jailed for the things that I say on Democracy Frontline. So at the moment we're skating on thin ice, and and we seem to be getting away with it, but the potential is there to outlaw us.
Well, one of the administrators of the 910 group said to me exactly a week ago, would you rather spend your last 30 years of your life doing anything but this? Meaning,
well, that's right. I'm 55 now, and I don't give a damn.
Well, okay, come and get me. But in America, we do have more freedom with what we say on the web. So far.
Well, yeah, so far. But if the liberals get in with this fairness doctrine, they're going to try to institute that again. I wonder how, that might be an interesting blowback, because if they can get away with that with the mainstream media, radio and stuff, and we can keep the net open, the net may be the only place where people can get the true the true information.
Well, yes. So then you start to look at the attitude of people like Google and Yahoo, who are just appeasers and dimmies, and there's no other way to put it. And they're going to be controlling the portals that we can communicate through.
That's true.
We're in trouble, you know.
Unless we create alternative portals, you know.
Well, that's right, you know. Yeah. So in effect, you know, we have to guard every part of our system, because every part of our system is under threat in one way or another, either from appeasers or from outright Islamists.
Right.
And that bunker in Arizona is looking really good.
Well, I don't know. The way you guys in Australia and New Zealand are fighting this thing off, that's looking pretty good.
Well, it encourages me that you think that we are perceived that way. It just doesn't feel like that on the ground here. On the ground here, you know, it seems to be one step forward, three steps back. Because there is a very well-oiled machine going on here, very, very well-oiled, because they established a beachhead here in the 1970s, and they were unchecked. Because, see, Australia, it's laughable that our left wing, our elites, throw the term racist at us, because we're one of the most successful multicultural experiments the world has ever seen, just after America. And our multiculturalism is new and ongoing, and in fact is increasing. So, who's being racist? I mean, every time that epitaph is thrown around, you know that they're talking about white Anglos.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
You know, that's all that they're referring to. But it was white Anglos, who were an 88% majority back then, who decided, yes, we will open up the country. So how racist is that? I'm sorry.
Right.
You know? And we've had many elections where we could have overturned that, but we haven't. Right. And for me, I mean, our lowest immigration intake got down to 110,000 a year. And just recently, we've woken up to the reality that John Howard, rather than decreasing our immigration, which would appear to be a common sense thing to do, has actually increased it. We'll be having something in the order of 300,000 arrive next year.
Yes.
Yeah. And they seem to have to prioritise people from the Middle East. Yeah. Now, that's insane.
We're coming up the end of the hour here. I just want to make two thoughts. First one is, if the audience would listen to what's been said here, we have to realize that we have two opposite ends of the world, the UK and Australia. They don't realize by now that we're talking about a global insurgency of a virulent ideology. You know, this shows it. And then I'd like to say that, quote John F. Kennedy, who said once that, why is it always the Anglo-Saxons that have to save the world from tyranny?
Exactly. Well, we're the only minority left on the planet.
Okay, well, I want to thank both you and Lionheart for coming on. Really appreciate it. It was great. It was informative.
Absolutely.
Wonderful day. Wow.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Oh, we'll get you again.
Keep up the good work, Lionheart.
You too, Gravel Rash.
Yeah, mate.
I just want to add something before, something that Gravel Rash said about the grassroots people. That the frightening thing is that the grassroots people are the defence now of our countries, but the Islamic enemy that we face is being supported by our governments, being supported by our security systems. Within their own communities, like the religious leaders, the whole community knows exactly what's going on, and it's left to go on because they have a religious agenda that they're working to. And our government is on their side against people like me, against people like you, and Gravel Rash, against the grassroots people that are saying, look at what's happening to our friends, look at what's happening to our communities, look at what's happening to our neighbours, you know, and no one's listening, but maybe they will.
We're listening.
Well, we're listening.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
But
we're preaching to the converted.
If I could just have one last word.
You got 10 seconds.
What part of treason don't you understand?
That's right. That's absolutely correct. Well, okay. Well, thank you guys very much for coming on, and we'll definitely try and get you on again.
Good.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, folks, that wraps up another show, always, and I guess we're just ready to go and see you next time next week. Bye-bye.